Hey everyone, this week's lesson through these16things.com is on finances, but more specifically, it's on cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. And what I talked about in the lesson. So again, if you haven't signed up, go to these16things.com, sign up for the free lessons we send out twice a week. But we also sometimes want to put these videos together to be just go along with it. So what I talked about in the lesson is basically just saying that your kids will eventually use cryptocurrency, and whether it's Bitcoin or some other alternate coin, or if it's the CBDCs that are coming out, will be coming out, will be developed more. The whole process, that, to be honest, most of that's just beginning. Which I know some people really don't like it, and not that I care for it, to be honest, but right now we pretty much have a digital currency. Yes, you can get it in cash, but the large majority of all the currency that we have is not cash. It's all digital. It's mostly digital. So, but the issue with CBDCs is they will be able to be monitored and shut off if they want. If you're producing too much carbon, if that's what they think, then you can have a shut off. If you're eating too much meat, maybe because there's clearly a push for eating more bugs and stopping the farming, which is not the issue for any sort of climate change. You can't see it, but I did air quotes. That's not going to be the big issue. So, or that's not an issue. That actually helps. Anyway, moving on past that. So, but CBDCs are coming, and other things such as Bitcoin, if you haven't heard about it, or if you don't know much about it, Bitcoin is here. It is here to stay. They're actually, BlackRock is talking about, or is attempting to set up a spot ETF, which once that happens, institutional money is coming in and it's going to explode. But I don't want to get people interested in Bitcoin just to say that you buy into it and you're going to get rich. So that is not the point here. More so, the point is to have a currency that is not run by the Federal Reserve that can monitor every single little thing that you do. So if you're just starting out, I guess even if you know about cryptocurrency, good for you. If you know about Bitcoin, if you already invest into Bitcoin, if you already have some, good for you. If you don't, I'll share a link in this. It's in the newsletter that we just sent out as well. But there's a podcast it's Jack Spirko from The Survival Podcast. Just did one a couple days ago, and I loved it. That's actually why I'm making the video on this now, why we did the lesson on this, is his podcast was awesome. It was talking all about Bitcoin. I don't even want to go into too much about it, mostly because I didn't make any notes for this, and I don't want to mess it all up. He does a way better job at this, at explaining Bitcoin and why you need to have Bitcoin. Why it's almost he did not use these, and I don't even know if this is the best term for it, but why it's almost a fight against a central bank digital currency to own Bitcoin, to have some sort of, it's almost like banks monitoring everything you do and you have some cash at home. You've been able to go to the store and buy something in cash, or grandparents paying their grandkids to come do $20 worth of work at home without anybody tracking it, or work at their house without anybody tracking it. That's kind of like what Bitcoin will be able to do. It's almost in that sense. This is not in the whole picture, in the big picture, but in that sense, it's almost like having cash around the house that you can just pay somebody $20 for, and nobody else needs to know. So anyway, if you don't know anything about Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, I suggest you find out. Your kids will use it. If you're close to my age, I'm 41, you will be using it as well. I get some grandparents may not really get into it much, but us others will be using it. And it's enough I guess there's been enough time to stick your head in the sand and not want to pay attention to it, not do anything with it, just say it's going away. Guys, it's not going away. When it was at $300, people were saying it's going to go to zero. Then when it was at $1,000, it's going to go to zero. Don't worry about it. Then when it got up to $20,000, going to zero. Then $60,000, going to zero. I admit it did drop a lot after that, but in the long run, in the long term, it has gone up. It's gone up a lot. So if you look at it over several years, it's always gone up. So those that say, well, it was at 60,000, now it's at 30,000. In the long run, again, in the big picture, it continues to go up. It has been in the past very volatile, shoot up, drop way down, shoot up, drop way down, but it's still been that step ladder up, and it's still on that path right now. So BlackRock is talking about trying to make a spot ETF, and they're working through that process now. I'm not following it too closely, just seeing a few articles about it. If that gets approved, institutional money comes in, and it's 100% here to stay. My thought is it's 99.9% here to stay right now. So anyway, if you know nothing about it, I suggest you look into it. I'm going to post some links in the description below. Sorry. Got to post some links in the description below to download the Fountain app. And if you can click on my link, that would help me out a little bit as well. So click on the link to download Fountain, and then I'll put a second link in there for the actual, for that specific podcast by Jack Spirko. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And then I'll have more information coming out in the Thursday newsletter. I may be able to do a video along with it as well. But I'll have more information that you definitely want to follow along with to get on that list, to get on our email list to see all that information, because there's going to be even better information to take you further into crypto in that video. So check it out. Please, please, please also, subscribe to our newsletter, but we would also love it if you can like, subscribe, comment below, everything. Share this video we're trying to build up our YouTube audience as well, trying to get a bunch of information out to everybody. Specifically, what our channel talks about is life skills. Teaching your kids how to function in life, and knowing about digital currencies, knowing about finances is one of those skills. So follow us along at our website, follow us along here as well. Thanks, everyone.